Hey y'all, it's Kelly from Dixie Darlings, and I've got a little bit different tutorial for y'all today. So I decided that I wanted to start doing sublimation products, and I was contacted by Hiipoo, who has their own line of sublimation inks and their own line of sublimation paper, and asked if I'd be willing to review their product. Well, of course I would, but I didn't have the equipment to get into sublimation. So after discussing it with Hiipoo and asking for their recommendation on a printer and an oven, I decided I would go with the Epson EcoTank 2800. So that's what I have. This is a brand new printer. It has not been out of the box yet. I just took it out. I haven't plugged it in, and I just wanted to walk through the process of how I was going to do this today. So I figured no better time to help you guys as when I'm walking through it, following the directions. So I am going to walk through just setting up the basic printer, filling up their ink, cartridges here, just kind of like the basic steps. I'll install the driver on my laptop, and then we'll print off an image and see how it does. So I also took this opportunity to do a little bit of research on my own and just see what's out there and what kind of information I could find for sublimation that might be helpful that I could bring to you guys as well. So I do understand that we're not supposed to plug or turn the printer on until it has ink in it. So that's what I'm going to do first. And then also, I wanted to see if there were tutorials out there of people converting printers that they had previously used with regular ink into sublimation ink. And it's definitely suggested that you start out with the sublimation ink. Just get a new printer. If you happen to have one on hand or you find one really cheap somewhere and you want to convert it, there are some YouTube videos out there that show you how to flush out the ink. But if at all possible, it's kind of suggested just to start with sublimation ink. And then once you start with an ink, stay with that kind of ink. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this the best I can so you guys can see it as well up close. And so it comes with the different color inks. These actually have written on each little reservoir what colors go with which reservoirs, okay? So we're gonna open this, and these are actually autofill. So you may have seen some people fill their printers up where they take a syringe, they put it down in here. These are actually made to just go directly into the printer. So we've got our gloves on, and I'm actually gonna move you guys in a little bit closer where you won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, we're gonna fill our tanks up now, and so I've moved it in closer so you guys can see. And there's a different tank for every color, a coordinating color. It tells you on the inside, and there's actually lines on here as well. And you can see there's like a, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a bottom line that they say that you should never get below that, but this should fill it up to the top. And we're just gonna try this. So these little tabs right here pull open, and then I'm gonna put the coordinating ink color inside each little tank. So we will start with the black. So you can see I've just taken the top off here. This is what it looks like, and it's just going to fit right down on there and press, and it should start filling the tank up. I can hear it going down in there, and you can actually like see on the indicator as well that it's filling up. And then it actually stops when it's full, and so I'm just gonna pull this up, and there we go. And then I'm gonna go through with the other colors. It's filling up. Okay. We're going to just pop it right down in that last row. There you go. So now, and we're just gonna press these little tabs back down so they're sealed off. Close that up. You can see our indicators here are full. And now I'm gonna go through showing you guys how to actually set up this with your computer. All right, now that we've got the ink cartridges filled, there are just some basic setup things to walk through on the printer. I actually walked through them first just so I wouldn't stumble through them with you guys, but so I could give you a little bit better direction after I'd kind of done the process. So I did install the driver on my laptop, and it comes with a CD. So if you have a CD reader on your computer, you can use that. I do not, so I just went on the website that they gave me in the instruction booklet and typed in the website that they gave me, and then I downloaded the driver from there and installed it on my laptop. It was very easy. It's just kind of the process of anything that you're installing on your laptop. You basically just execute it and walk through the steps and answer the questions that they give you. And then when you turn on the printer, it's going to ask you just some basic questions as well. It's going to make sure that you've already filled up the ink cartridges first, and it's going to walk you through each individual color, just like we went through every color, and make sure that you're putting the right one in the right reservoir and that your indicators show that it's full. So it just basically walks you right through that. So if you had not even done that before or had not watched this before, it's going to walk you through those steps. Then it's also going to ask you like your time zone, what language you would like for it to be in, and then it's going to ask you to run a series of initializations tests. The first one takes about 11 minutes, and you just hit OK, and it just kind of does its own thing. Now, I will tell you, I didn't use sublimation paper for that. I just put regular letter paper in there, just so for those first few runs it would go, that it wasn't using my sublimation paper, that it was just using regular paper. So I let that run, and it'll print off, and it'll show you these lines at the top, and it'll ask you if there are segments missing. And so you're just going to keep running back through that process. It's very basic. It's like 2 buttons that you push, yes or no, and then start again if there's still segments of that missing. So it took me, I think, 4 times before I got where all the segments were filled in, and it looked like it was printing really clean. Then it's going to also ask you to go through one more initialization setting, and it's going to print off a lot of little boxes, and it's going to ask you in each line which box doesn't have lines through it. It's very easy to see that mine were clear, that there was like a 6 and a 7. It kind of stayed within the same zone of the line, that they were all going to be the same without the lines in it. So you just click 6, enter, 6, enter, or whatever the number is where you don't see any lines on the boxes. So it's very, very basic. So now I want to walk through just a little bit about how I bring my images in. I use Inkscape to print out my images, and I want to print out an image for the first time and see how it does. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is there's a little piece right here that just pulls up and slides back, and this is where our paper is going to go. And I really like this paper because on one side it has a slight pink tint to it with the Hiipoo logo on it, and the side that you're going to print on is white. So I like that I don't have to wonder which side it is. I can pretty clearly look at it as soon as I take it out of the package and know which side's going to go in. And the white side that you're going to print on is actually going to face up. So we're going to put that in here like this. And then there's some settings that I want to go through that they recommend, and it actually is on the back of their paper. So I really like that little tidbit right there. I like that fact that I can basically just go here. It gives me recommended transfer instructions on the back of the box, and then it's going to walk you through, for Windows users, which is what I have, some printing preferences. So we're going to make sure that we're going to change the paper type to Premium Presentation Paper Matte. So you want to make sure to select that. And then also you're going to choose landscape for your orientation. And then you're going to pick the quality as high, and then you're going to go over to more options, and you're going to check mirror image button. So you want to make sure that when you actually have your image pulled up in Inkscape or whatever you use to print off your images, that it's not mirrored there, because you're actually going to have this setting in the printer preferences that it's going to be mirrored there. So, and then you're going to check off high speed, and then you're going to press OK. And then there's just some basic other instructions that they give you on here. Use the paper with sublimation ink and sublimation blanks only. And then for optimal results, secure the paper with heat resistant tape and use a heat press machine for sublimation transfers. So we're going to do all those things. We're going to print off our first print and see how it does. Okay, y'all, here's our print now. So I've actually printed this out and sized it. It's going to go on a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler. So that's what mine is sized for. And you can see it printed it perfectly. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to do on the tumbler. Stay tuned for part 2. And don't be alarmed or surprised if it doesn't print off as vibrant as you're expecting it to. Because remember, this image is going to either, like, I'm going to bake it onto a tumbler, so it'll be more vibrant on the cup than it appears on the page. So just kind of know that going into it, that when you print it off, it's not going to appear as probably as bright as you're expecting it to as it would on another piece of paper. And I wanted to say a big thank you to Hiipoo for providing me with their paper to try and with their ink as well to try. So I'll keep you guys posted, and stay tuned for part 2, because I will be sublimating a tumbler, so you guys can see that in the process. And then also, you guys, if you like my tutorials, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss my future tutorials. And I will link all the products that I used in the description box below. And also, a little another note, I have a Facebook group, Dixie Darling's Tumblers, but we work on all kinds of projects. So y'all hop on over there and join us there. I go live every Sunday night and Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, and then Fridays at 3 p.m. Central Time. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed it.